form or another in their lifetime.
Yeah, it could just be being forced to not do what you want, even if it's like you've been with someone for a while. And it could just be like, I didn't want to, but I was pressured into it.
The color's amazing.
Still assault.
It's still assault.
Yeah.
If a woman doesn't want it and she is forced to do it, just like if a
woman
man doesn't want
it's
it.
classed as rape.
The minute you say,
Just
I don't want it,
put it in the
and
easiest way possible.
Yeah.
Woman doesn't want it equals rape. Woman that does want it equals not rape. Easy way of putting it.
So you know exactly what I'm talking about then, JB.
I think we all know what you're talking about.
Well, he was saying his mother has bipolar disorder.
Oh, talking about something,
Yeah, his mother has bipolar disorder, and she would fly off the handle from time to time too.
My sister works with people who have bipolar. Works at a living center.
It means get angry very badly for no reason at once in a blue moon. I mean, they're fine when they're on their medication. When they take the medication and they stick to it, they're okay. They're great people. They're perfectly normal, loving, wonderful people. It's just when they decide all of a sudden they don't need to take their meds anymore that they change.
I'm fine. 10 minutes later, fucking go haywire.
Pretty well. It takes a little bit more than 10 minutes because it takes the medication has to be completely out of their system. But when it does happen, it's
that's like, a matter of high blood pressure as well. Let's not forget about that.
It's a medical condition, right? It's not their fault. They're not responsible for their actions in those moments. They don't intend to do them, and afterwards, a lot of the time, they feel horrible.
It's their condition, that's why.
Exactly.
Ah, the breeze feels good. Indeed.
I couldn't stay in the relationship because after what happened.
Strangely enough, my soulmate just might be this girl from Bavaria.
Well, I had 2 kids at that point, right? And I had to think of my children.
Oh,
I can't raise my children in that.
Now, don't they?
Yeah, I have sole custody of both of my boys.
Nice. Good.
Good. When medication of bipolar disorder wears off, it becomes noticeable in the behaviour of the individual. Yeah, he's right there.
For sure.
The amount of times my sister almost gets assaulted at her work.
She gets assaulted? Does she still get assaulted at work?
I have no idea. Everybody's on medication, everybody's fine, but dad chillers have stories of people refusing and arguing.
The kids
and then it just becomes verbal.
There are worse vices. Excuse me. We'd like to ride the
Well, one of the problems, it's actually a symptom of bipolar disorder as well as schizophrenia and several other mental disorders that the medication changes the way they feel. It sets them into an emotional high. So they think they don't need it anymore because, well, I've been happy for weeks on end or months on end, right? Everything's been fine. I've been great. So they think they don't need the medication anymore. So they stop taking the medication. And by the time they've come to terms with the fact that the medication's worn off, it's too late. And then they have a freak out. And they don't intend to have that freak out. And then, of course, it becomes a legal problem, and it...
So wait, it's just like Tourette syndrome. You don't know when... You don't know that you're actually saying something when you're not supposed to, or something like that.
Essentially, yeah. Like...
It's a bit like Tourette's. Like, if I just said, fuck, I didn't mean to do it. I don't have Tourette's, but if I did, I would say fuck, and I wouldn't mean to say it.
It's actually... It's like Tourette's times a billion, basically, because
like if I had Tourette's and I accidentally insulted you with fuck knows what insult I'd do it with, I wouldn't tend to mean it.
Exactly, it's not an intentional...
I won't mean it.
It's not an intentional assault. It's not like
Yeah.
I suddenly don't like this person, so I'm going to do something
be
mean to
careful
them
out
and
there.
horrible and blah, blah, blah. It's not like that. In that moment when they're
Yeah.
doing the assault or the attack or whatever it is they're doing, they don't know they're doing it. They've lost touch with reality at that point. And when they come back from it, it's already too late. They've already suffered the consequences of having done it, and they feel like shit afterwards. And
That's
I
why I always
know.
find those studies
Or is it like they
fascinating
just can't remember
of
what happened? So is it
when
like
it's
another
like-
sign of amnesia?
what does go on.
Well, no, my ex-husband remembered everything he had done. But the way he described it to me, it was like he was outside of
Guys,
himself.
we got a little
He was
problem over
not
here.
himself in that moment. He could see what was happening, and part of him was saying, this is not okay, don't do it. But the other part of him wasn't listening to that part of him.
My mum went off her medication for a while and she was unbearable. Jesus, JB. So JB, is your mum taking meds at the moment right now? Like, she's still taking meds?
Things up. Gladio!
I got it!
We're on the same page.
I'm assuming she'll still have the condition now, won't she?
It's not curable. It's a lifetime.
No,
like
yeah. I would have figured it.
It's a mental illness. So
yeah, you're
Yeah,
kind of born
it
with it.
We all good?
Better than good.
Good to go.
Like with me, I have like Asperger's autism and I'm
yeah, we
that's
both
like
have Asperger's. Yeah.
yeah, we both have that. The thing is, mine's like a different thing. I tend to think differently to others, and that's like, I don't know if I'm mental or I'm just completely weird.
We don't know, man. We barely understand.
You
Yeah,
can't
I
really
suppose.
judge it that way, though. I mean, both of my boys have autism, but they're on opposite ends of the spectrum.
So what'll it be today?
I've got one son who can't stand being touched. He doesn't
Glad
like
to see y'all made
kind
it
of
back in one piece.
closed off. Has this obsession with wearing winter clothes in the middle of summer. And my other son is the
Grab some
complete
grub before you
opposite to the
go.
point where he's overtly social to the point of being making people uncomfortable because he'll like walk up to perfect strangers and hi, I'm Matthew, I love you, want to be friends, and give them a hug, and the person's like, I don't know you. Right?
That's actually nice, but
Other people will be like, "Oh, he's such a nice kid," and then you have the other part. Yeah.
other people are like, oh, he's a nice kid. And then there's some other people that are like,
My birds have all
awkward,
got their
you can walk
feathers
away right
ruffled.
now.
As a kid, I always cracked the jokes and I always wanted to be the
Interesting
funny guy.
choice.
And now here I am being the depressed nihilist.
Well, that's
Y'all
it.
still
Like
the funny
here
guy.
now.
mental
You're still the funny guy. We're all the funny guy.
mental changes and stuff of that nature, you can't really.
It comes
Like
naturally to
when I-
how your
There's
own
no
brain
set
works.
standard for how that person's going to be or how they're going to interact with others
Like
or
with
any
me
of that.
like with me when I was a kid at primary school, I was just the biggest weirdo ever. Everyone was just looking at me like, what the hell is he doing? Yeah, really. Then, honestly, I was too little to remember things. But when I grew up, I realized, what is wrong with me?
My memory got worse.
It wasn't a case of memory. It was just a case of me acting like a dick.
I was
Well, like,
Like I didn't have amnesia.
no.
with me, I have
was
a form
diagnosed
of
with Crohn's,
epilepsy,
like-
right?
Let's go.
Yeah.
And in my case, it's not a genetic condition. It was caused by what happened to me. So I didn't start actually having seizures till I was 27.
Oh, JB, you were mentally unstable? Anxiety?
But now I have severe,
Let's hit it.
like severely severe memory issues.
Like, I'll be honest, I'm sometimes like that, depending on what I'm like. I'll just like, I take one moment to remember this, and then when I go down, just remember this thing. It's out of my head. I'm like, why am I here? What am I doing?
We'll meet again.
What the fuck?
I think one of the things that I go through that I have to worry a lot of the time about is I'll be like cooking. I'll get up and I'll start cooking. And then I'll completely forget that I was ever cooking.
You can't remember what you're cooking.
And I'm
Like,
lost,
what was I just doing?
right?
You can't remember what you're cooking.
Not only can I not remember what I was cooking, I don't remember that I was cooking. And like a couple times now, I've almost started fires in my house. Not intentionally, but because I completely forgot that I was doing something.
Oh boy.
And, like,
That's like
wandered
me with
off.
a toaster. I put a couple of slices of bread in a toaster. I'm like, what's that sound? And then I realised there's a couple of burnt toast there, and I can't even remember I was cooking toast. I almost had
Something's
what
I'm
smoke
getting
was
into a
out.
big fight here.
Stop fighting, not good.
Yeah, you can try it. You're gonna be fighting the
Fighting is
behemoth.
good unless you're playing games.
Since your character is so strong, I think I'll be fine.
Where?
Sorry, what?
I can't hear Sean at the moment. It's being quiet. John? Oh. He's
Yeah,
alive.
he's still here.
He's still
You're
here.
kind of snooping around, Matthew.
I don't know whether
you're
Sean's
supposed to be
working or
sneaking.
he's just being quiet.
I'm focusing on injustice, that's why.
What's weird with my
yeah.
memory issues is
I forgot you were tired. See,
I can remember.
I forget he's tired. I forget he's tired when he clearly said he's tired. Well,
When it
that's not
comes to
I
like
forget,
music,
it's just like being
if I'll hear a song, and I'll have all the words to that song memorized right away. Boom, no problem. Or video games. If I run through the video game once and I remember every detail of it. Or I'll read a book and I have it memorized, like almost endemic, right? Like I'll remember everything that I read.
Yeah.
But simple everyday to day things like remembering to eat or remembering to drink, remembering to get fresh air, remembering to go for walks, all that kind of stuff.
No room for
I'll
error.
forget. If people don't remind me, I've sometimes gone 2 or 3 days without eating to the point where I'm feeling sick and can't figure out why I'm feeling sick. And it's like, well, have you eaten? Oh, no, I forgot to eat.
I forgot to eat, but my tummy's rumbling.
Well, a perfect example is last night. I made dinner for the whole family, right?
Yeah.
And almost 3 hours went by, and then Conrad looked over at me and he's like, Leia. I'm like, what? He's like, why haven't you
Nelson?
eaten your food?
Who? Nelson?
Yes.
Wow.
And I was like, what do you mean?
Yeah, I wonder.
And he like pointed out that I had a plate of food sitting in the
Darling,
kitchen.
why have you not eaten your food? I can imagine him saying that right now.
Well, like I had a plate of food that I had prepped for myself, and it was just sitting in the kitchen, and it was cold by the time I actually finally ate it, because I completely forgot that I had cooked food. Lock on,
There, where's your food, love?
and triangle is teleporting. So if you want to teleport, which it's not letting you, it's not giving you the option to.
Yeah, for when I'm in the battle, I need.
My memory is selective. Like, I can still
And
remember
that's not a
when I was
teleport.
diagnosed with Crohn's, but I can't remember
This is a
what I
sneak.
did in college weeks ago.
Remember I told you you have to sneak
Yeah,
through here?
mine's sort of the same as you, Mickey. I can remember every game I play, but I can't remember what I do in college.
You
like
lock on,
what I learned there,
and then you
what I do
press
there.
triangle.
I can't even remember what I'm working.
Just this, and then triangle to teleport. So you need to sneak through here slowly. Sorry, I let
remember
my son
7 years
Matthew
ago-
take over.
I remember 7 years ago diagnosed with Crohn's, but what did I do 2 weeks ago in college? I don't frickin' know.
What do you do in college? I can't fucking remember.
I remember my major. I remember projects. What was the last thing I did?
I remember playing my games. I can't fucking